aren't really powerful, can that one be like, can I have like a +1 on that?
Yeah, so everybody's going to be able to pick everybody's going to be able to pick, give themselves a +1 weapon, a magic weapon.
Ooh, okay.
So whatever you want your main weapon to be. So if you just have a regular sword, but you want your crossbow to be your magic weapon, that's fine.
Okay, sorry.
And then that's fine. And then Scott, you can pick whatever you want +1.
Alright.
Meltdown. But hi Robin. Look at that. Shiny. But so let me get this real quick. All right, we're gonna go live in a sec.
Sorry.
No, you're all good.
He's getting frustrated with being at home every day and hearing us with Natalie.
Oh,
But today he's here to stay.
he's like, wait, I thought this was just like a one-time deal, maybe
Yeah.
a visitor.
Yeah, he's getting sick of it. Every time he sees me holding her, he gets this face where it's like, again? Poor kid. I can't wait to play this. This is going to be so cool.
Yeah, I hope it's fun. I like where it's gone as far as the story. So we shall see.
You guys aren't stalling on my behalf, are you?
No. I'm getting ready to set up the stream and then we'll go.
Okay.
All right. All right, sweet. So, if you're joining us tonight, this is the first kind of one of our branch offs. This is going to serve as a prequel to the Halloween campaign that I'm planning on later on this fall. So we'll just give this a try. It's my first time running horror, so hopefully if I'm terrible at it, don't judge me too much. But hopefully we can build some suspense and make it kind of creepy, but not too crazy. We can go ahead and start with just quick characters. Larry, if you want to lead us off with your character, just a brief description of what your character is and what he's all about.
All right. I am playing Victor, the Grave Cleric. He is a tall, pale human, long white hair, wears heavy armor, uses kind of a blunt bludgeoning weapon, like a mace, and embraces the darkness and uses kind of some nasty magic.
All right. Warm it up a little. All right. Scott, if you want to go ahead and share.
All
right, so
Your character?
yeah, so my character is Scroll Suka. He is a half-orc barbarian, and so he's about like 6'4", 280 pounds of like muscle, basically. He grew up as like a hunter and outlander. He basically had a clan of orcs that he kind of ran with, known as the Bighorn, and so like their hallmark is basically like they've taken the top of the skull and like the horns from the Bighorn sheep,
Okay.
and like crafted into a helmet essentially. So like is one of the things that he's known to have like killed people by like headbutting them, and so yeah, so he's basically just huge, ripped. He's fierce, unforgiving, emotion driven, and he's a barbarian. So it basically some of his faction has been like being hunted down and killed. So he's like coming into the city to try to investigate like who may be responsible for that.
All right, sweet. And then real quick, Sam, just name and you know what your character, what class, and then we'll figure everything out. Us.
I am going to be playing for the first time a human paladin. Her name is Jane of Oak.
Nice.
Jane of Oak is part of, she's ex-military, so she used to be part of the Army Reserves or whatever in Ben Loneth. And then she worked her way up to this elite squad that was reserved only for men. And when it was found out that she was a woman, which she tried really hard, did a really good job of hiding, then she kind of got demoted. And so then, Ron, you can't say that right now. And so then after that, she joined this group called Dawn Guard, who basically protect all of Karga from, it's a generic monster hunter sort of planet, ripped right from Skyrim.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing. She is, although she can pass as a man because she has worked really hard to be strong, she doesn't look manly. She just wears a lot of armor and she uses carefully. She doesn't hide as a man anymore, but she's got pretty long, like blonde hair, and you wouldn't really like think of her as a girl unless like you specifically like she let her guard down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So
Kind of badass.
and I think Larry. Larry, you said you were a part of the Blazing Crescent.
Yeah, he definitely is into that blood magic, darkness type religion stuff.
All right, awesome. So we've got a little bit of mixture coming over from the other campaign. So if let me get this going real quick. How do I want to do this? I'll just pull it over. So, where this is going to be taking place. Okay. This is going to be taking place right up here in Lake's. So this is Lake's Nest. This is 20 years in the past from our current campaign in Vestergaard. But it's in this general area. It's on this west coast of the lake. This would be Vestergaard. So this kind of gives you an idea of where we're at. in terms of the realm. That's not on. There we go. That'll do for now. All right. Okay. We'll go ahead and give Sam a little bit of time before we start. But still
I think I'm going to use a Morning Star as my weapon.
okay. Yeah, so go ahead and whatever your weapon of choice is, give yourself like one of the +1 green magical versions of it.
Okay.
Scott, what is your weapon of choice going to be?
I chose a +1 great axe.
Nice. Because of course a barbarian should be wielding a great axe.
Yeah. And then I don't know. What about like armor or something? I mean, my armor class is like 15, like before anything. So.
Your armor class is just going to be but since Barb, you'll be able to rage.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to reduce pretty much all damage. So your armor class isn't going to be crazy high.
Yeah.
But it'll bump up with like as your dex score goes up. I believe it's your dex score.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So when you get rage at level 3, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you'll benefit pretty big from that. What is your what path did you take?
Path of Berserker.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I can like frenzy, I guess.
Yeah.
And you get like an extra attack, but it
Yeah. Path of
causes
Berserker.
exhaustion. 1 level of exhaustion or something.
Yeah. All right. So as we get started, what happens? What has happened now? So just basically the broad overview is, this is 20 years in the past. What I showed you on the map where Lake's Nest is, Lake's Nest wasn't around at this time. Right now you'll be in Lakehafen, and prior to the unfolding of these events, Lakehafen was the seat of power for the Crane family, and so that's kind of where you're at. Lakehafen is this beautiful, scenic, idyllic like lake town. The lake itself is smooth as glass and bountiful and plentiful in terms of its yield of fish. It served as a getaway for the Vesseray kings. Pretty much everybody who's been a king, a part of that royal family, and then all the other lords and royal families, they'll come to this place, to Lakehafen, to get away as part of their kind of summer vacation, so to speak. And then another area, you can't see it on the map, but another area that people love to go to is Baggington. It's a very like coastal. It's kind of like more of a Mediterranean feel, and this is kind of more like your lake. If you go to a lake house, I like to think of it. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Michigan. On Lake Michigan, it's just absolutely beautiful in the summer. You would think you're in Malibu by some of the views and cliffs and the water. So that's kind of how I envision Lakehafen. So current events. what's beginning to happen is every year Lakehafen has a giant harvest festival akin to what we would know in our lives as Oktoberfest, where everybody in the realm comes to celebrate the harvest prior to the winter, and it's just this massive deal, not just to the people of town obviously, but to the realm in general. And right now we're about 3 weeks out from the actual beginning of the festival, and as the town starts to prepare itself and get ready for everything that involves this, just adding in new lodging, new temporary seating. I mean, people are going to be staying in houses. There's really only one main tavern, so it kind of just turns into like this tent city almost, and everybody's just getting ready for the preparations and everything, getting ready for this giant festival. But up until a day ago, there had been some strange disappearances, and it wasn't until one disappearance that kind of made it a big deal. And as you would come in, so that's kind of the background. This is where you find yourself. We can go ahead and kind of pause now, and then you can kind of give me we can talk about it real quick as the reason to why you specifically have ended up in Lakehafen. Jane obviously is here because she's heard about these disappearances, and that she's gotten wind that they may be supernatural or monstrosity related. But I'm interested to hear why Victor and Skrull would be interested, or maybe be called upon in this, in these circumstances.
Yeah, I want to say that I was already traveling through. I heard word of what was happening, and it sounded like something that I could learn from. So I'm coming to investigate this mysterious event that's taking place, and maybe pick up some new techniques while I'm here.
And Scott, why would Skrull be in Lakehafen?
So he's, as of late, has been being recruited or contracted a little bit, as a mercenary or kind of like a headhunter. And so it's kind of, he's gotten wind that there was somebody that wanted to see about that, hiring him to kind of search down and see what's going on with these disappearances. And then on top of that, he's, some of his tribes people have been coming up, being taken and killed, so he wants to kind of investigate that as well.
Okay, so
kind of dual.
He thinks these appearances, these strange disappearances, might be linked in some way.
He's wondering if they are linked in some way. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. So the mayor of Lakehafen is Arthur Dunkel. He's a robust, red-beard human, and he has sent out pretty much ever since this last event. he has sent out kind of like a net because he feels like his town is not equipped to handle this string of disappearances that's going on. So he sent out correspondence, and Jane has been one of those to receive this correspondence, and also a scroll. So you two have a connection, having been summoned to Lakehafen to assist the mayor. And then, as it occurs right now, you both ride in, and as you're riding in, it's kind of like the crowd. If you come into the little town, you can't help but see this kind of city square. It's nestled in between two giant archways. To the left of that archway, so you're coming in from the south, because that's how everybody enters the Lakehafen, generally speaking, since the woods to the north kind of block it off. So you either enter from the south or the west. So you're coming in from the south, and from the south to the north, there is these giant archways that lead into this town square, this massive town square that is basically, it's oversized for Lakehafen every other time of the year other than Harvest Fest. So it's exclusively meant to house and kind of alleviate this influx of people that just come the droves for the Harvest Fest. And as you kind of saunter up on your steeds, you look over to, you scroll. Are you on a steed, or are you walking?
Oh, he's like basically on foot.
Okay, so he's on foot. Being a soldier and a paladin, Jane most definitely has a horse of some type. So you saunter up, and as you enter the city, you're greeted by the what you would understand as the town crier, and his name is Humbert. And Humbert recognizes, he's been set to look out for this. He knows that someone from Dawn Guard is coming, and he knows that you have reached back. You have sent correspondence back to the mayor saying that you would oblige and you would come and help try and figure this out. Scroll. So he's been waiting for this giant half-orc barbarian and this Dawn Guard member, and it just so happens that as you are walking through, you hear the hooves of a horse kind of come up from behind you to your right, and you're almost neck and neck with each other as Humbert is waving you down. And he says, "Here, here!" And he's holding up kind of a paper that would be like identifiable as correspondence or terms of a payment. And he waves and he, "Here, here! Please, please, come over here! We've been waiting for you. I haven't much time to speak because the mayor himself has gathered the entire town in the square, and I must go and introduce him because that's the customs of Lakehafen. So, before we go, here are your terms. Read them over. Please get back to me. I must make haste. But the both of you take these." And he hands you over these terms. They're basically saying that it's basically like, there's no payment until this is remedied. anything that happens to you isn't fallen back on, isn't going to come back. They're not responsible for any kind of harm. You're taking this on as yourself, as adventurers, and you kind of know what you're getting into. And that's basically what those terms of agreement look like. But within the terms, if this is all remedied, there are bountiful rewards, large quantity of money. There's essentially what is free dining and food and drinks, especially at this time. I mean, this would be very. I mean, you're at. If you can imagine going to Oktoberfest and not having to pay for anything, that would be you for life.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
so these are very generous rewards, but he understands that this is something that probably isn't going to have a very straightforward answer. So, those are your terms. What do you do as the both of you are next to each other, reading these terms simultaneously?
Yeah. I'm just gonna look over at James like, seems that we're here for the same purpose.
And I just kind of nod and stick out my hand, and I'm like, Jane.
I'll go out to school. You look important.
I used to be. Are you here to
Righteous.
squash out evil too?
Yeah, that's typically what I do.
You look like you could squash a lot of things if you wanted.
Yeah, I take pride in that.
Remind me not to piss you off. Now I'm gonna.
Yeah, I do have a bit of a anger problem, you could say. In the heat of the battle, I tend to break out. You know what I mean?
I think I do. Looking forward to it.
Well, it seems that we need to make haste.
And then so as you saunter up and you make your way into the crowd as everybody funnels in, you notice that this almost lightning colored hair, this heavily plated pale figure leaned up against one of the arches as people walk in, and he also has this same correspondence that you have. And I don't know which one of you sees it first, but as you ride through, as you come in, your eyes kind of all meet together, and you understand that he has been requested to help in the same way. So I think how it happens, Larry, is that your time that you've been passing through, you've kind of been asking around, and you've gotten into touch. You would have a little bit more sense of what's happened so far. Who's disappeared, when those disappearances occurred, and then kind of the events leading up to this. You would have a little bit more clear understanding of. And since you were asking around, and you finally asked the right people, the mayor was like, "Sure, I need all the help I can get, absolutely." And so you've been extended the same kind of correspondence as they have, in
John,
the same
do you
agreement.
expect that since my occupation and Hector's occupation kind of overlaps, that we would probably have seen each other and met each other before?
I think you would have an idea of like this blazing crescent. So maybe in passing.
Okay.
But I don't know if you want to, you absolutely. If you feel like you've run across him in your travels and it's a familiar face that you recognize, even though you may not agree with everything he does.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I would know his face and his name and like a bit like his very vague reputation, but not have like a friendship with him.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, I've seen you before, I know what you're about, sort
Right.
of thing. So as we walk up, I'm gonna kind of recognize this lightning blonde hair of his and see you and walk up. I'm gonna walk up to him
Okay.
and I'm like, Victor, must be a bad situation this town is to have called all three of us for the same problem.
I wasn't called here. I was just passing through and it looked interesting. But there have been some strange events going on.
And I see you have the same scroll that we have.
I never turned down payment.
That sounds about right.
Although I'm hoping to walk away from this with more than just gold and beer.
Maybe all your limbs.
That's an inside joke.
That is an inside joke.
Yes, if I have anything to do with it, I'll be walking out of here with more than just my limbs.
Seems some of my tribesmen have been disappearing. Seems there are some other things going on in this town.
I'm nervous and mess with a necklace that's around my neck that seems to have a bunch of sharp teeth and claws and various small bones on it. And I'm going to be like, I'm also here to collect more than gold.
Nice.
Well, I guess I'd better catch you up to speed then.
Catch us up to speed.
Yeah, and then, John, at this point, I'll relay the whatever information I've gathered over to them.
Okay, so hold on a sec. Oh shoot. Stupid thing hasn't been recording.
Oh, shit.
It's stuck on frozen up here. I might have. Alright, let's see how this works out now. Okay, we should be good. Alright, Alright, yep, we're back. Okay, good deal. So what has happened up to this point is, about 5 days ago, when when Victor entered the town, there had been a series of disappearances. Son of a bitch. Too good to be true. We gotta fix it. Hold on. Sorry. Alright. We're just gonna have to roll with it like that. Okay, so Victor's been here for about 3 or 4 days, and what's happened is these disappearances have slowly, he's been in town for 2 of the disappearances, and he's heard the stories about the rest. So, about, I want to say 5 days ago, we'll go ahead and do it chronologically. 5 days ago, the first person went missing. The first person was the butcher's boy. the butcher's boy, Killian O'Hare. Killian went missing just on along with the blacksmith's daughter, Kinley Schmeider. There's been conflicting reports about where they were last seen, but it seems that most of them have come back to they were last seen coming from the lake, walking together towards their residences.
They were together
Yeah.
when they went missing.
So Killian and Kinley were last seen together, the butcher's boy and the blacksmith's daughter. And then,
Yeah.
as Victor has taken up residence in the tavern, the local tavern called the what did I name this?
Are these kids?
So the boy and the girl that have gone missing are both kids, what you would consider like teenagers. So Victor has gotten a room and taken up residence, as all of you will be. In the correspondence, this would also tell you that you've all been given free access and rooms at the Stork's Bounty, the large local tavern. And again, the Stork's Bounty. The tavern, just like the square, is massive. It's not fit for the town day to day. It's meant to handle the large amount of people coming in for the festival, for that week-long celebration. So when Victor arrived, he met the tavern owner, Ardent Storch, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Ardent was your typical tavern owner, barkeep. You know, he ran the bar, made sure the acts got out on time. His son also works with him and lives with him. They also live in the tavern. His son Kai Storch. However, on Victor's second day, the tavern owner, he heard whispers as he woke up that the tavern owner, Ardent, had gone missing. Not a whole lot of details. Kai was kind of close-lipped. The constable had come. The constable, Aiden Locke, had come to investigate and kind of take Kai's statement on what had occurred and where he was last seen. And, you know, there doesn't seem to be any kind of trail. There's no reason why Ardent would go missing, especially at this time. So it's all out of the ordinary. And it wasn't until a day ago that this really started to swing in the motion, and that's when you would have received this emergency cry for help. And that was when the constable's daughter, Siobhan Locke, went missing. And as Victor fills you in on this, you funnel into the square and you see Humbert on the steps. The square itself, when you walk in, it's massive and made of stone. The archways are huge. When you walk in, directly in the middle is a large crane statue, and it's kind of like how we would envision. It's carrying a bundled baby, and there's two humans taking the baby from the crane, and it symbolizes a lot of things. You can ask around and find out more about it, but it's this really massive statue and fountain. And the House Crane itself is the one who owns or who runs Lakehafen. So they kind of pull from that symbology. It's on their crest, the crane. So it feeds into their origin story of why they are here and how they came to be. But you see that massive statue and fountain in the middle of the square, and to your right is a line of large buildings that close in the square. These buildings are stores, and they have storefronts on each side, so you can walk in from what would be the back in this square, and then you could go out to the front, which would be like the main the main lakeside road that runs along the lake, and then it winds up, and then eventually heading north will lead you to the castle. So it's this huge storefront closed in on the right, and then to the left there's a large promenade and steps leading up to the town headquarters, and it would basically be like a I don't know if you guys like Heartland Banks, you know how those look. A lot of, like, we had one really big, like, it might just be the one that was in our town, but we had this really nice, in Bexley. Have you ever been to Starbucks in Bexley, Ohio? The Starbucks in Bexley is like it's one of those old banks with giant pillars. It looks really out of place. So that's kind of how this looks. It doesn't look out of place, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's not like the Columbus Library big. It's kind of smaller than that, but it would be like one of these banks with some very large pillars. It looks really nice. A little bit nicer than what you're used to, what you would think a typical town hall would look like. And then as you filter into this square, you look up to your left on the promenade, and you see Humbert, and he walks out. And you hear the kind of the noise start to settle, as he's known as the town crier, and he begins to address the crowd. And as he comes out, he says, he looks around and he kind of hushes the crowd, and he says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The Honorable Mayor Arthur Dunkel." And the hushes come out, and this is when you see Arthur Dunkel, the robust, red-bearded man with a wispy mustache. He comes out and he addresses the crowd, and he's, "Now, I know the recent events have led us into panic. I beg you, please do not panic."
Aye.
These events will be taken care of. We are still weeks away from the festival, but please, I insist. It will be under control soon, and we will get to the bottom of these terrible disappearances. And you hear shouts from the crowd like, "Oi! You didn't give a rat's behind until the constable's daughter went missing." And you hear people saying, "Yeah, what happened about the butcher's boy? What happened about the smithy's daughter? Nobody cares about that." And and then you hear this kind of raise and level and like ruckus, and as people start to jeer and toss insults at the mayor. And again, Humbert steps up and he says, "Silence! There will be silence. We must let each other speak." And the crowd kind of settles again, and he says, "It is true that it is true that we felt this was more serious when, of course, the constable's daughter went missing, not because she went missing, but because it could no longer be determined as coincidence. The butcher boy and the Killian and Kinley, they are very fond of each other. It could have very easily been that they had wandered and wanted to make a new life. And the tavern owner, while disappearing is very, very, very strange, it's still not unheard of. But this last disappearance has absolutely changed our view on these events, and it is being currently dealt with. I promise. And then as you hear, like, you see, like, kind of halfway up the statue, you see a guy with a bottle, and he's like, you start to see, you start to hear kind of a muffled voice, and then you hear people telling everybody to be quiet, and they're like, "Let him speak." And he's looking around, he's like, "Oh, now, you say the tavern owner? Oi, the tavern owner, I seen him the other night. He was milling about the mill, just up the road." And everybody kind of looks at him like, and what you would know him as, Victor, this is Godfrey Tanner. He's essentially the town drunk. And as he slurs through this story, I was up around the mill, and well, you know that what I be doing out there, don't mind that, but I saved him. And then by this time they've kind of like rustled him through, and he's kind of telling the story as he's walking up the steps, and he kind of gets up there and he's like, "I seen him, I looked at him, and I said, 'Hey, Artie, what you doing out over there?' And Humbert looks at him. He says, 'Well, what did he say, man? Finish your story.' And he says, 'Well, he looked at me. He was holding something, and then he was just off. And I took my eye off him for a second, but it I may have stumbled or something, or I spilled a wee bit of me drink. But by the time my head spent back up, he was gone.' And it was like, and then as people are like, 'Oh, like, okay.' And they kind of boo him off the stage, and Humbert's like, well, I'm sure you saw him, and we'll definitely look into it, as we are. But we are here to serve a purpose." And then Mayor Duncan says, yes, Artie, yes, we are here. Today marks the evening of great importance, is where we nominate the Harvest Princess nominees. And let us not, while these events have stirred us and have caused great distress, we must carry on as normal as possible. So, here we are, the nominees of tonight, and they roll them out. The first nominee, let me find this.
As this is happening, I'm kind of...
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and talk real quick. go ahead and take this time to kind of divulge
I'm
this.
just like scanning the crowd,
Yeah.
looking for suspicious people and suspicious things. Are you rolling to see who the nominees are?
I'm writing the names down. I
Oh.
forgot I put them down somewhere else. So.
And Natalie put her name in
Yes.
for Heart Queen.
Yes. We'll get Natalie.
Is she too young?
No.
Heart Princess, I mean.
The Harvest Princess. And now let us introduce these fine young women who will mark the beginning of the festival and then the very end where we celebrate a great and another plentiful bounty of these of our wonderful blessed lands. First we have Gertrude Popple. Yes, Gertrude. Next is the fine daughter of one of the town's councilmen, Emily Schaefer. Yes, Emily, wonderful as always. What's up, J-Rod?
Oh,
Hey.
Mario.
Hey. Surprise, surprise.
You're just in time for the Harvest Princess nominees.
Yes. So,
What were the first two again?
Gertrude Popple, Emily Schaefer. And then, we have, the beautiful dark-haired girl, of the miller's daughter, Natalie Lakesong. Yes. Very beautiful. And then, I mean, by no coincidence, again, these are just the nominees. My very own stunning and beautiful daughter, Victoria Dunkel. Yes, thank you. And as he says Victoria Dunkel, everybody scans, and there's kind of muffling, speaking, kind of this hum in the crowd, and time elapses, and Victoria still hasn't come.
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
And as this occurs, you start to see. Go ahead and give me perception rolls. Tell me what you get.
14.
I got 13.
Okay.
I got 20.
Okay, so Victor taps both of you on the shoulders, and you both, and he kind of like points back behind him, and as you do this, you see the crowd. There's a girl just weaving and bobbing her way through the crowd, and she's in this white gown. It's distressed. She looks like she's seen a ghost, and she's panicked and frenzied, and she's screaming, get out of the way, father, father! And as she does it, she gets up, and he's like, dear Victoria, he makes his way ungracefully down the steps, pushing through the crowd, and about 5 feet in front of you, not even, a little bit closer to where you're standing, she's like, Father, it's Mother. She's gone. I don't know where she's gone to, but she's not at home. You know she should be home. She hasn't been home since you left, and she's never late. And everybody's here, and she wouldn't miss my day, this nomination, the Parvis Princess. She wouldn't miss it for the world, Father. And he's like, oh dearest, dear. And you see Humbert come over, and he grabs him, and he says, no, make way, give us space. And as this kind of happens, Humbert, his daughter, dragged away dragging each other like up these steps. They go into the town hall, and everybody is just kind of left in the square right now. And a few seconds later, Humbert says, it's with the utmost importance. The mayor he again asks me to decree that we carry on as normal. His wife will be found. She is not missing. It is just a miscommunication, he assures us. Please, let us get on with our preparations, have ourselves a typical evening, enjoy yourselves as this celebration kicks off our festival, and please return to life as normal as possible. Have a blessed and great evening. And with that, you're within this giant square, and it starts to disperse, and the people start to filter out. So I'm gonna go take a drink and get some water, take a quick break. But we're gonna lead off to where everyone in the party is gonna make a decision where you want to go next. And then we'll come back. I'll be like 1 minute.
Okay. If you give us like 5, we might be able to put our kids to sleep.
Yes, we can do 5. Yeah.
Did you get my text message?
No, I don't know. I haven't looked at my phone. It's been. Oh yeah, you're good. Yeah.
I made a character, so.
Jump on in.
Yeah.
It seems that Bubba's joining the party.
Well, I do declare. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a drink of water, and then I'll fill you in on what's going on, Justin.
All right. While you're doing that, I'm gonna give Robin a real fast bath and put him to bed.
Yep.
Cool. Alright, I'm gonna get a drink.
that noise? Oh, that's Justin's dog. I'm like, whose dog is barking?
Getting fancy.
Yes.
Come here, girl. Let's go outside. Sit in here.
All right. So
John?
yeah,
Well, what kind of armor do you recommend for my character?
plate.
Like,
Yeah, you could do scale mail or half plate, but I mean you're a paladin, you should do plate. Okay, so Larry is playing Victor, a cleric of the grave. Scott is playing Skrull, a half orc bard, Path of Berserker. Sam is playing Paladin, Oath of Vengeance. She's from the Dawn Guard, the Monster Hunting Society. Larry is one of the underground select few of the Blazing Crescent. So this takes place 20 years in the past from our current campaign.
Yeah.
So they're not real well known then. They've always been around, but so he would be kind of within the outskirts of society. And Victor had been passing through. He started asking the right questions to the right people about these disappearances. So he was here for two of the disappearances. The most recent of the two, and he eventually was able to get a contract of to help out with this situation. And Skrull, Scott's half orc, he's dealt with some disappearances in his clan. He thinks that there may be some sort of connection between these disappearances, and he's kind of been searching for answers. And he has a reputation of being a mercenary, a person for hire to help in certain situations like this. So he was contacted by the mayor of the town, from the Lord Irving Crane, and to kind of help out with this. And the same goes for Jane the Oak. She's a member of the Dawn Guard. The Dawn Guard would have she probably wouldn't be the only member of the Dawn Guard in Lakehafen right now. So they walked into the square together. They noticed Victor off to the side, and they kind of realized that they were all here for the same purpose. And then that's when they entered that town meeting when you came in. And the town meeting was called for the Harvest Princess nominees, as well as kind of to settle the tension that's going on with this string of disappearances. And that's where we are.
Cool.
So we'll see where they're gonna go after that, and then you can jump in and be at that place.
Yeah. I mean, my character is a druid, so deep connection to the forest and from the Earth. So, like, if Sam, oh hey Sam,
Hi.
her character's last her last name is Oak something.
Oak.
Yeah.
Jane Oak.
And then Scott, what's your character's name?
Scroll Suka.
Yeah.
Wolsuka.
Scrollsuka.
Yep.
I mean, John, if it's okay with you, I feel like I would probably be accompanying Scroll Suka, like, as his, just someone who is around him, and I mean, that would be my connection.
All right. So you and Scroll have kind of been wandering.
Like my character is like an outlander, so he like lives out in the in the wild basically, and so he probably would have like encountered you at some.
Oh yeah.
What race are you?
Half elf.
Nice.
Okay.
Half elf, druid, but I could imagine, yeah, like Scroll would be like out there, like maybe like looking for water at one point, like and then all of a sudden he would see like maybe like a little like puddle appear, and that was my character. I don't know how we could make it work, but
Yeah, I mean, you guys have crossed paths, found a connection. While I feel like while Skrull is this hulking, raging monster, he still would have some kind of primal connection to, to the earth. I mean, a primal animalistic rage is very natural, so it wouldn't be something that would turn you away from him in any. It wouldn't be terrifying to you. It would be something that's natural, and you would be accustomed to seeing and understanding. So we'll wait for everyone else to get back, but yeah, that's just where we are as far as the story. We just got into it, so like literally, like right as you jumped in, we're about like 10 minutes in after we yeah.
Oh,
because we had to wait around for I've had technical difficulties again. I thought I had it figured out, and I was so excited, but it to no avail. And then just waiting, babies and stuff, doing baby stuff.
Yep.
Babies. Yep.
All right, so I guess as you guys leave the square, we'll go ahead and we can have you pick where you're gonna go next. So the main points from the backstory is the town drunk Godfrey said he saw Ardent Storch, who was the tavern owner, said he saw Ardent Storch missing, who's been missing for a couple days now, out by the mill, which is on the northern part of the lake. There's obviously a tavern. That's where everyone has been given free stay, free food. So that's another place where you can start off, and that's where Ardent was last seen at the tavern. Last seen, not by his son, who works with him, and then you have the blacksmith's daughter and the butcher's son, who went missing together, and they were seen walking towards their houses, which are in the same general direction from the lake, about 5 nights ago, and then you have the constable, Aiden Locke, whose daughter went missing yesterday night, was noticed this morning, and that would be another potential area of interest or person of interest. And then you obviously have the disappearance of, let me find her name. call her. Then you have the disappearance of Margaret Dunkel, the mayor's wife, who is what you guys just found out. So those are your leads per se, as to where you want to begin this next part of the journey. So, Scott, do you have any idea? You can just go ahead and make a decision. We can start to head that way.
All right. I was gonna grab Humbert and see if he can take us in to like talk to the mayor, like in private.
Okay.
I don't know if he has any further information or not, but
Yeah. So Humbert, you go up. You rap on the heavy wooden doors of the town hall, and Humbert sticks his nose out. His eye peers through the crack. He's kind of taken aback, and he's like, "Oh, oh. Well, yes. How can I help you, sir?"
Well, it seems that the mayor summoned us to do a job here, so I think we should talk to him in private.
Indeed.
More information about this situation. We're trying to solve it.
Indeed. Well, as of now, he is quite indisposed and distraught about the recent news. As we attempt to. Let me ask him if he's willing to speak. I know you're here to help. Please wait. I'll be right back. A few minutes elapse. He opens the door back up and he says, he obliges to your request, but please be brief, as you understand the circumstances. This is incredibly difficult for him to handle right now. And the two giant doors swing open, and it opens up into this nice hallway with a high scaffold dome in this kind of what would be like the entryway. And he takes you around. You walk past that, go down to the right, and there's a series of offices and other rooms. And then on the last door on the left opens up into this massive but larger area, and this is where you see you walk in, and Humbert opens a door with a rap, and this is where Mayor Dunkel is, and his daughter sits in a chair off. When you walk in, it's a massive desk. It's lined with chairs, two chairs in front of the desk, his seat behind, and then there's a couple of other chairs within this room, and he ushers you in. There's a large bookcase across the entire left wall, and then on the wall behind you, when you walk in, you see you see all the pictures, paintings of the all the other paintings of the last the previous mayors and the offices they'd held, and you see his picture up there, bigger and more prominent at the time being, and he has you sit down, and he says, "Well, yeah, please, have a seat." And he sits you down, and he says, "Well, it appears you have managed to find each other without my doing. That shows quite a level of competence. So it's a bit reassuring at this moment. What will you ask of me? I haven't much time. The constable is out. I'm. I must get home soon to meet him at my residence. So, please be quick.
So, so you would say, do you have more information about these disappearances that you didn't want to talk about in front of the town? Anything that you can tell us will get us, closer to the solution.
He says, "Well, everything is still quite fresh and mysterious. The disappearance of the children was, in hindsight, we'd not taken it serious enough. I know that sounds terrible, but it seemed that perhaps they were just lovers and they wanted to be off. They are quite fond of each other, as I said, and, well, it seems this may be something larger, so if you would want to learn more about them, I would send you, I can give you directions to their parents and their residences. They would be able to inform you much better of their character. As far as what we know about this entire string of disappearances, the tavern seems to be where I would begin my investigation. Ardent, or Artie as he is known, is not a man that would disappear in these moments. He is quite fond of his money, especially during the Harvest Festival, and it's absolutely shocking that he would leave his son alone in these moments. And as mad as that damn Godfrey is, him milling about the mill, I mean, it seems just asinine, but all things considered, I would probably check even with that crazy man, but... And then the constable's daughter, as I said, I'll be meeting him at my house shortly, in my residence. You're more than welcome to meet up with the constable after this, but his daughter missing is still fresh, as well as my wife. There's still much information to be gathered on those two fronts, but as far as further information, well, I have very little to share. I know there have been, all I know is that in the tavern, Kai had found some very, not strange things, but out of the ordinary, down in the cellar where his father was last seen. So perhaps you could start there. That would be my best advice. And please, gentle people.
John,
Yeah.
am I with Scott's character in this room as this guy's saying it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna turn into a bear and just roar at them.
He's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, because I think he's full of shit, or I think there's more to be told.
Are we there too?
Yeah, you're in there with him.
Sweet.
You can go ahead and make insight rolls to see if he's being truthful.
When did you last see your wife?
And he says, well, last time I...
So 15.
16.
And he says, well, the time I saw her last was... I had retired early, and she was still up visiting with some of the councilwomen and councilmen's wives who we had over as kind of a introduction. It's very customary for us to celebrate the beginning of the festival, and the last time I saw her, I swear that she climbed into bed with me last night, but
You didn't see it this morning when you woke up?
we generally don't cross paths in the morning. It's not out of the ordinary for her to be out tending to the garden, or off on the supply run to the local grocers. But no, and everything seemed normal. There was nothing out of the ordinary as I stood awake.
Except for the people that are missing.
Well, yes, I've already yes. This is quite out of the ordinary. People just don't disappear in spans these fast, but nonetheless, that's why you've been summoned.
Fair enough.
Has anything strange happened during the festival in past years?
Oh no, the festival's always been a wondrous time for us and the citizens of the area. Everybody from the realm enjoys it and loves it. The lake is beautiful. The scenery, everything is tip top around here. I will say, if you are not familiar with it, the only thing that has been out of the ordinary in recent times is the Lord Irving Crane. He was a philanthropic man, very bright, always about the people. He's been of the lords of this realm. He is by far the greatest one. And within the last year or so, he has not been seen outside of his residence in the keep, in the castle. There's a lot of rumors and whispers, as you'll hear, but it corresponds with the entering of a very, well, I think he is just quite devious, in fact. This man named Manoris, he came through. He was a part of this traveling circus of some sort with a man named Fagin, I recall, and his acrobats. And well, ever since he's come, this Manoris claimed to be some sort of soothsayer. And well, as the rumor goes, and as you'll hear, I am not one to make things up. He's fortunate he read it to the Lord Irving, and well, you'll have to ask others. I only repeat what I don't want to get in too much conjecture because of my station, but they seem to have dark tidings, and well, it seemed that Lord Irving felt that these fortunes were to be avoided at all costs, and ever since his entry, Manoris has come into the castle, and it wasn't long after that the great Lord Irving, his wife Catherine Crane, had passed away. It's quite odd. She was a stunning lady of great health. She was as nice as the Lord. The saying goes, it was his better half. She was even better than the great Lord. She was the sweetest and most humble and giving person that many have ever encountered. And well, it struck him quite hard. And it seems that he's gone into this seclusion, and no one is. The only people I have heard that dealt with him, I can't even meet with the great Lord. The only other people that I've have heard that met with him are the other great lords of the realm, and even then they come out tight-lipped and hushed, very secretive of all that's gone on there. But as far as everything else, no, it's gone very, very, very beautifully and wonderful, and everything about our festival is great. We never have any problems. But
except for missing people.
Well, yes, of
There's
course.
that.
Yes. Well, I mean, I know my wife is missing. Of course, I understand the importance of this now. But the information that I provided you, I swear, this is all I know. The bear thing in front of me, good. Please, I come with you. I come with only the purest of intentions. I want this to be solved. This is my head could be on a spike if this fails. The repercussions of the Harvest Festival not going through would be catastrophic to the people of this town and me and everyone involved. I need your help. And
Even on a spike, you would be babbling pompous nonsense.
John, real quick, can you address the fact that there is a bear in the room?
Yeah, I mean, he's like terrified. Like, he's like,
No, I mean, like, I am a bear.
yeah. He saw you turn into this bear. He is like as he's saying this, and it's like him plastered against the wall saying this, like, as you like, you know.
Yeah, like,
you know,
like,
and you got the lips shaking, and he's like, I swear it, I would not mislead you.
I'm gonna reach
By Paladin himself, this is the truth.
Pull out what looks like a turkey leg, basically, or like some sort of large, like, limb of a terrestrial bird, like hand it to the bear.
It's a griffin leg.
Yeah.
Oh, you hand it to me?
Yeah, I hand it to the bear.
To my mouth, or just like?
Yeah, like to your mouth, basically.
Yeah, and I just take it and like slobber envelops your hand, and I just you don't see the turkey mouth anymore, the turkey leg anymore. Gone.
I'd suggest you don't keep anything from us, Mayor. We have a bear.
And he's like, I see that quite well, madam. Now, please, I must be on the way to my residence to meet the constable. You're more than welcome to join, but this is all I have to offer. And as far as his your insight rolls, he is being truthful. There's not much to hide from his part. He wasn't lying when he said if this ends up bad, it's the end of him. So he does not want any. He does want this solved.
I've got a +4 to animal handling, so I'm gonna kind of pet and guide this bear outdoors.
Oh no! I just turn instantly back into a half elf, and then I look at the guy and I say, "See, was that so hard? Like, come on."
And he says, "Well, please, be on your way as you will. I must go. Good day, travelers." And Humbert says, "The great lord, or the great Mayor Dunkel, he may be out of touch. If you would like to respond, please, you can find me here at any time, and I can show you and guide you to places where you may need it. As far as that is concerned, please, with the utmost of importance, solve these terrible disappearances. Everybody in Lakehafen is a wonderful person. These people going missing is dreadful."
I get up in the middle of his speech and walk out and walk towards Godfrey.
And he's like, "Well, please, sir, you
I follow him.
Victor, sir, you would please, just know of it. Please, as you leave, well, somebody listen to me. I'm the town crier." And you walk out, and so Godfrey, as the town drunk would be, is at the tavern.
All right.
So if that's where you want to head, you guys can make your way out.
I want to talk to Kai.
Okay.
Are we headed towards the cabin?
Oh, he's in the tavern?
Yeah. Right? He's working?
Yes, Kai is the tavern owner's son. and he works with him. So,
We all good to go to the tavern?
yep. Everybody's good with that? Okay. All right.
So I haven't met Justin's character. So I extend a hand. I'm like kind of like laughing a little bit. I extend my hand to you and I'm like, Jane, do you go by Bear?
I'm like, no, I go by Lon.
Lon. As in Bon Loneth?
No, but that's cool too. No,
So
just Lon.
well met.
So,
And John, I'm gonna take this time to like introduce my character. So Lon is a shaman. Appears sometimes as a bear, sometimes as a wolf, sometimes as a bat. Just whatever you need, Lon's there. And Lon is, his main goal is to just preserve, I guess, like the balance of nature, but also to like be good, like number one.
awesome.
Sweet.
Great. So, what do you look like in half-elf form?
Probably 6 foot, tall for a half elf, thick, burly, hairy chest, hairy back.
So you got the human side of you is noticeable.
Yep. Just a thick man is what you would think he is, but
Okay.
he's a half elf. Yeah. Yeah. Burly and calm as personality wise goes, like just a chill person, but you can tell there's a little bit of storm underneath that water.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
So, you make your way into the tavern. It's this, as many things in Lakehafen, it's oversized to deal with just this one time of the year. And it's this massive, like, 5-story tavern with multiple bars and levels. It's kind of like if you've been to Nashville. Every floor has a different flavor. So you as you go up and down the floors, you can get pretty much anything you want in terms of music. But as you walk in, you sling the door open, and there's still, the town is starting to see a mild influx of outsiders, but it's a little bit more somber than you would expect. And you would understand the reason why, since the tavern owner just recently has gone missing, and the string of disappearances that have racked the city or the town. So as you come in, straight ahead is just this massive bar, and you see a like a sandy blonde human in about his early 20s, and he's working the bar, pouring tankards, passing them down, handing out plates of food. There's smells of fish and asparagus. There's beef stew. It's actually pretty. The quality right now is great. The food is it smells. You just take in all these smells. You see smoke rising when you walked in, you saw smoke rising out of the back, and there's some sort of like there's multiple animals on spits roasting in this shack to the outside. So there's fresh smoked meats, just high quality food right now, and everybody seems to still be enjoying themselves, but a little more subdued than what you may think of this giant festival being on the verge of occurring. So, as you walk in, what do you do?
I ask, "What are you guys drinking? First round's on me." I go up to the bar.
And
who I believe Kai.
Kai looks at everyone up and down, and he kind of eyes each and every one of you, and he looks at this massive half orc, and he's just kind of like, what? And like he's never seen.
Got a barrel with a handle, because I think this one's gonna be drinking a lot.
He's never seen an this is an imposing figure, even for the amount of visitors they take, and he's kind of a little bit stunned, and he looks at him and he says, "Well, I suppose he is gonna drink a lot."
Should the bar school make a constitution?
And he says, "And you with your
I was gonna look down at him and be like,
he says, would you rather have a pitcher instead of a tankard?"
Yes, the strongest drink you have. And
He
you
says-
look at me like you've never seen a half orc before.
Oh, well, he says, "Sir, he's like,
Have you ever seen a half orc before?
he's like, "Well, I've seen a half
and while
orc."
he's pouring that, I'd be like,
He like pours it out. He's like, "Was it that noticeable? Did I stare that long? I'm usually better at that." And he says,
So like I'm gonna like motion like for him to like hold on 1 sec while he's pouring the drink. I'm like walk out back real quick to like where the spit is and just like rip off like a limb with some meat on it and walk back in and just like take a huge bite out of this thing and go like and then walk up to my pitcher.
To Kai and be like, "Yeah, that's for the food."
and he looks at you and he says, "You're that symbol, the rising sun with the shield. Your Dawn Guard?"
Kind of give a little.
He says, "Wow."
"We're here for you, my child. I believe
He
you
said-
are missing your father."
And you kind of see his mood shift, and he's like, "Yes, indeed, my father has gone missing." And he says, "Victor, it's nice to see you again."
I'll have a bottle of vodka, please.
And he says, the clear stuff." He's like, "Of course." And he slides it to you. And then he says,
Tell us when you last saw your pa.
he says, "Well, it's been,
I'm doing like the Russian style,
Yeah.
like I'll pour myself a shot.
yeah,
Listen and just take a shot. And
yeah. Like, you take like 3 shots while he still hasn't said one word."
Yeah.
He
Take a
goes,
shot, huzzah, and then smash your glass with him.
he looks at you and he's like, "Well," he's like, "this is, well, Victor, as you know, just moments before you arrived, my father had disappeared from almost out of nowhere. I was up here tending to the bar, and he was down in the cellar gathering some supplies to restock. And
I stand up instantly. He went missing tonight.
Oh no, this was 2 nights ago. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I thought I had misspoken. Sorry.
from your cellar, yes.
Yes, the cellar. I can lead you down there.
This mill business.
Well,
Godfrey, get over here. Tell him what you told us.
and he looks at you and he says, Godfrey, he's like, he's benevolent man, but he can't hold his drink or his tongue.
Did you call him benevolent man, Putty?
Just man. He's a benevolent man, not putty. But and he says, well, he is my best customer, so, please, Godfrey had told me this story, and Godfrey, say it again, and Godfrey recounts the story, and he's like, my father, he's like, as mad as it seems. Godfrey's like, well, I was out there milling about the mill, as I tend to do on nights, and never mind that, but here we are, and I look over and I see old Artie, and I say, hey Artie, and he ain't look at me right away, and he takes a giant swig of his drink, and he's like, oh.
Artie the mayor?
Hi.
Oh, the tavern.
Hey? Alright, anyway, we're on the mill, and then I say his name again, a little bit louder, because he didn't look at me. I say, hey, Artie. And this time he looks up, but it looked like him, but it didn't look like him. I don't know if that makes much sense, but it did seem to be him, but he was holding something in his hands, and he looked at it, and then as he looked at it, it had been at least like 10 seconds since I had taken the last drink, so I took me another drink, and by the time I looked back, old Artie was gone, and I just figured he was heading back to the tavern, so I went about me way and came back to the tavern as well, and that's about it. And Kai looks at him and he says, "It's as crazy as it seems. Before my father would always recount the stories of mother and he when they were young, and even as they aged but became a little bit busier, they would frequent the mill just to have some quiet time and hear the sound of the water turning over the creaking wood and splashing down softly into the lake. So I don't know what to make of it. All this is just so incredibly strange, but it wouldn't be out of character for my father, the head there. And how he got out of... there's only one way into the cellar and one way out. It's up these steps right around the back. And
Why don't you take us there?
And he says, well, yeah, of course. And he's like, please, follow me. And he looks over and he says, Tabitha, would you mind the bar while I'm gone? And she says, oh, of course, Lord, or of course, Kai, I will absolutely mind the bar. Take your time. And you guys head down, and as you head down,
as we're doing this, I brandish this awesome spiky morning star, just in case there's anything waiting for us.
It's the spikiest.
It's a very spiky morning star.
I have actually not reached for a weapon. I have reached for a wooden golden cross. And I've got my best evil sensors.
Okay.
John, I'm still sitting there just holding this big piece of wood. Just holding it back up, ready ready to hit somebody with it.
Okay. He kind of looks at you guys like, he's like, it's just a cellar. Like, he's kind of taken aback. He's like sees the morning stars sink out, and he sees Jane start to clutch her idol, and then he sees you with this giant slab of wood, and he looks over, and I feel like he sees Skrull with just this giant piece of meat, like. And he's like,
so I have like a mouth like half full of meat, and like, like
I don't quite fully understand all human relationships, but why aren't you out looking for your father?
Scroll.
If he's missing, Scroll very, very hungry.
And he says, wait, just. Well, I'm a bit unnerved by this. Could you please just lower the weapons? It's a cellar. I've been down there today. And he says, why would I go looking for him when he disappeared from here? And he says, anyway, and as he does so, he creaks open the door, the latch. He undoes the latch. The door slowly creaks, and those with dark vision see a cellar. He lights. He strikes a piece of flint, nestles it into as it burns onto this little torch. He nestles it up to a lamp, and the room illuminates. And you walk in, and you see basically just a simple cellar. There's different types of stored canned goods. You see pickles. You see beets. You see carrots, onions. All types of pickled. There's pickled meats. There's pickled eggs. All donning this large these large why can't I think of the word, shelves. You see giant casks on the back wall of wine and ale and other spirits, ready to, still fresh, not cracked. Most of it seems to be these casks because of what they're expecting people to come in. To the right at the corner, there's grains and other types of fresh vegetables that the more perishable items that would make up this cellar. And he says, Constable Locke was in here the other day, and they searched this thoroughly, but we couldn't find anything.
Not like us, lad.
And he says, I pray that you're right, madam. My father is all I have left in this world. My mother, she left us a few years back, and, well, if I lost my father, it would be absolutely devastating. He says, please, any help you're willing to provide, I'll take it, and anything you need from me, I'd be more than happy to help give you. Just let me know what it is. As far as the cellar goes, as long as you don't break anything, you can look at whatever you'd like.
I'm gonna look at the walls and see if there's any false walls or tunnels or anything like that.
I'm going to tune into my divine senses, and I'm going to start sniffing the air around this cellar, because apparently evil registers as noxious odor to a paladin. So I'm literally sniffing.
You come in, as you walk in, you walk into this, and as the light illuminates and your vision is before, as he's striking this flint, the flint smell and the creation of that fire and the oil would hit everybody else's noses. Prior to that light sparking open, others could see, but your nose reacts first, and you're able to it hits you like a wall of just retch and bile. It almost makes you sick to your stomach.
Uh-oh.
And you zero in on an area behind one of the casks. One of these massive casks. And you notice this substance that has leaked down, and it's black and it's oozing. Go ahead and give me an investigation roll. Just everybody can go ahead and give me an investigation roll. You guys would have probably been tuned in as Jane walks over to this area, and Kai kind of takes a step back and is looking at it and is like,
18.
Okay.
16.
15.
All right. With the 18, you notice that this bile has managed to chew through the stone
Ugh.
behind this cask. And then go ahead and
I'm going to look at the bile up close.
so the bile is just, it's this black, I don't know, it almost bubbles. It bubbles and it kind of recoils as you get closer. Like it's kind of sensing some sort of holy or divine presence that you put off. And
Interesting. Would I be able to roll and see if I've seen this before in my monster slaying quests?
Go ahead and give me a.
3.
Let me look at this real quick. Go ahead and give me a. You can do religion or history.
10.
So the only thing you can gather from this is that it's some sort of you're not sure what makes it up, but it's some sort of like evil necrotic presence. It's not something that you would know exactly its origins, but you do know that generally what it is.
Okay. Do I think that it is a being in itself, or do I think that it's just evidence of necrotic badness?
You think that, I think you would be able to deduce that it probably came from some sort of origin, not necessarily specifically, but that it wasn't just, it wasn't there by happenstance. Like something came here and left it here. And then at the same time, you notice a tuft of white hair.
In the same place.
Yeah, so you see it sticking out from like one of the, so like in between one of the cracks of the cask, there's this tuft of just this little white hair.
I'm gonna go over to the cask and try to like just pull it
All right. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
All right. Oof, that was crappy. It was a 11. Yep, 11.
All right. So, yeah, you can go ahead and help him. So go ahead and roll.
Uh, 17.
All right. So with Jane's help, like you recoil as you kind of grab. You're like this massive hulking figure. Go in. You're like, well, seems that I can do this. And you kind of look around and see if anybody is watching, and like it doesn't budge. And then Jane's like, well, here, just slide over a bit, and I'll give it a nudge, and then the both of you are able to push this cask and slide it back into the middle of the room, and there reveals this this black like substance ooze just dripping down and into this and as it drips in and revealing a hole of some type. And Kai is just like how, like he's in shock. How did they miss this? And he's like, how would my father have ever moved this cask? It outweighs him by 500 pounds. He's just completely in shock.
Where was the tuft of
fur? You take a sniff of it, Lon. You just take a big old sniff of it, and you're like, "This is fur." And you take another sniff, and you're like,
Fur, guys.
"Mammalian." And so it's some sort of. And so the fur was kind of embedded in one of these cracks. So it looks like whatever. It looks like it brushed up against this cask at some point while it was down here. And it seems, and since there's only one way in and out through the stairs that lead down behind the kitchen, it seems to have exited through this gaping, ooze filled drip tunnel. And the tunnel itself isn't it's not a large tunnel. It's not a tunnel that it's maybe a tunnel that a human could fit through. But you would, in your armor, even Jane in her armor, and just your natural size scroll, you would have it would be extremely tight for you to wiggle into this hole.
I'm like, Scroll, go in there. You've got it, dude.
He's gonna be like, no, I drank too much ale, too much turkey. I can't fit through there.
Too much turkey.
I don't want to be digested tonight by some black and oozing stuff.
John, if it's okay, I'll fly over that black oozing stuff in the form of like a bat or an owl.
Okay.
And kind of figure out and fly into that area and see what's going on.
Okay, so you see Lon. He mutters a few Elvish words, and all of a sudden takes form of this bat, and he just flutters into this tunnel. And do you want to follow it all the way, or do you just want to? How far do you want to go into this tunnel?
I just kind of like to see what's going on. I mean, I'll say I'll commit to go halfway through.
Okay. You get about halfway through, and it's a tunnel. You kind of see it start to ascend as you're flying through, so that it would seem that you're gonna find an end as it ascends up, and other than that, I mean, there's still this this presence of this ooze, not as much as was around the entrance, but you would still notice that it kind of seeps and is puddled in some areas, and it kind of plops up as you kind of fly by, and you dip and dive through this, but it never really hits you. You're able to avoid any kind of contact with it, and that's basically where you're at as you come back on the other side.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna tell them like, yeah, it looks like we might be able to get through there, but unless it can fly, it looks like we're here right now.
Yeah, the only thing you would understand about the direction of the tunnel is that it heads east. So it heads in northeast towards the lake.
Yeah. I guess that form come back and be like, "Ooh." But like, I think we should go east towards the lake.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, should we take another route?
I'm not going down there.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, so you guys make a decision that it's not in your best interest to head into this tunnel. Go ahead and give me, Larry, go ahead and give me, or Victor, give me just give me a basic intelligence roll with advantage.
Hold on. 13.
13, okay. With your 13, you are able to know that since you've been in the town for some time, you know that this northeastern direction heads towards where the mill is located. So it would make sense in your mind that the Godfrey story about seeing Artie at the mill would align with the direction that Lon has told you about this tunnel.
So we're exiting the cellar now? Is that right?
Yeah. So right now you are heading back upstairs into the
I
tavern.
walk back into the tavern and grab Godfrey by the shoulder and say, "We're going to the mill."
And he said, "Oh, well, I still have a drink to finish, and
Take it with you.
and he's like, well, you seem to have yourself a bottle right there. You mind sharing me if we're going to be walking together?"
I'll pour him a shot.
And he's like, well, anywhere you need old Godfrey to go, just let me know, and I'll be right with you.
opportunity with trailer shops like breadcrumbs.
Yeah, he's like Godfrey's carrot is liquor, so or ale. So you just dangle that in front of him, and he'll do anything you want.
Me too.
All right, so I'm gonna take a quick break, get a drink. You guys, if you need a break, let's go ahead and take one. I'll be right back.
Anyone have a sleeping spell?
What's that?
Sleeping spell, sleeping potion. Help a mama out here. I guess she just really, really wants to see if she wins Harvest Princess.
Oh, I know.
Little to be known that Scott has the voice of an angel.
Scott.
And it's rare that he sings, but when he does, oh my lord.
Do you really?
No. Kristen does.
No, my sister does have the voice of an angel.
Oh.
He
I have
makes
the voice
me
of that. But have you seen the little guy from the Diet Dr. Pepper commercial?
Yeah, it's the sweet one.
Yeah.
cry. Are you talking about Little Sweet? Yeah.
It's
Yeah, Little Sweet's the bomb, though.
I would have to play flute, but I know how that went last time.
Yeah, it's like the guy from Seinfeld.
Can we play the flute?
Make a performance roll.
With advantage.
No, you won.
I'm gonna let you roll that again, for the love of God, with advantage again.
And the dragon chooses to succeed.
I just remember my jaw hitting the floor when that happened. I had never heard of legendary action, and I was just like, what the fuck? That is not fair.
Good job.
An arrow of dragon slaying, you say? I will swerve it to the side with my mind.
Arrow of dragon slaying is not to be taken lightly. That thing is a baller instrument.
Yeah. Didn't Scott one hit kill something crazy? Or did 100 points of
It
damage?
was just Azumazil.
Yeah, just
It
ask me.
was only the entire antagonist of the whole thing. Yeah.
Yes, that was insane. And you had held on to that all game.
Yeah, he had it all game.
And then it just was perfect timing. Didn't you aim, weren't you underneath it and aimed upwards or something
Yeah,
crazy?
that was a crotch shot.
Oh, that was a separate incident where I rolled and shot up into.
Was that the giant?
Yeah. Oh,
That was a separate incident when I dominated. Yeah, Scott, you did, dude. That was. I mean,
that was crazy.
Oh, we don't win without that. That's evil defeats good that day.
yeah.
Yeah. I ended up a stone. A ruby. A good stone, but a stone.
You're still there, yeah.
All right. So
It's her eyes closed.
Shane's half down.
I'm telling you, I think that I could probably curl 200 pounds. Having rocked her so much. She's close.
all right. So you leave the tavern. You start to head in a northeasterly direction, which follows the outline of the lake, and you start to see, as you approach, the main road, the lakeside road or walkway is lit with gas lamps. You start to veer off out of this, and the darkness of the night starts to sink on and take over. And Godfrey, with no dark vision, just the normal human, is just, in pace and step with Victor as they lead you to where the mill is. You hear the lapping, the gentle lapping of the lake to your right, and as you get closer, you start to hear the turning of the mill, and it's at that time that Godfrey says, "Well, this is right about where I seen him. He was standing up there right by the entrance to the mill, and I was over here, and next thing I know, he, as I said, he was carrying something in his hands, and then he, then he disappeared out. When my eyes came back up." And he's like, "Now I led you on this way." He's like, good sir Victor, would you mind me a little top off as I head back midway to the tavern?"
Yeah, I'll give him a little bit more.
And he's like, "Well, much obliged." He's like, "It'd be nice. I was always dealing with you, Vicky. And I'll be on my way. If you need anything, you know where to find me."
I gave him a pat on the back to send him on his way, just a little bit too hard.
Yeah, he kind of like stumbles over and like masterfully is able to hold the contents of the drink. Still, like, just his entire body's out of control, but doesn't spill a drop. And he looks back and he's like, "Oh, hey, you know what? I look forward to seeing y'all again. Good luck out there. It looks a little creepy to me, but I'll be over here." And he's kind of like, you start to hear a whistling, like, as you hear it, it starts to die down as he gets further and further away, and you are left here about I would say about 30 feet, 20 feet from the entrance of the mill. And then outside of the mill, there's a outside of the mill there is there's like there's a bench area where people can sit next to the mill and kind of look out into the lake as the mill works nearby, and you hear the water lapping over. The mill still operating, functioning perfect as it cycles through its water. And what are you going to do?
I'll walk up to the door and knock on it.
It's as you knock on it, you just hear it just slightly starts to creak open. And it's cracked about halfway.
I look inside. Do I see anything?
Do you have dark vision?
No.
You don't see it.
I do. I'm gonna walk up to the door and look in.
Okay. So you peer in through the crack, and this top floor of the mill, it's almost like a shop that we would run into. It's where millers would sell like the milled grain and other things like that from the mill, and it's kind of like an empty kind of like a small empty desk where someone would stand behind to kind of watch over the mill. To your right, there's a lamp, and behind the as you look further behind, to the right of that desk, there's a set of stairs that descend down to where you would understand the guts of the mill are. So if you need to repair the mill, there's a second level to where you could go and you see like the whole mill itself. And you just hear the creaking of the mill and the wood as it cycles through.
Okay.
We don't see anything moving or anything like that.
Right now, there doesn't seem anything to be moving. It's for you, it's darkness. For those with dark vision, it's just still.
I'm gonna light a torch.
Okay, so you
I
grab
light
the
a
torch. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna light a torch and hold it up. Do I see any of that black slime anywhere?
No. There's really no indication of presence. Anything that you would think has any. It looks undisturbed.
We walk in. Should we go down to that other level?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go over by the stairs and see what's there.
Okay. As you walk towards the stairs, you hear, although it's faint, what sounds like footsteps coming from downstairs. It's hard to make out. It could be the sound of the mill, but from what you can tell, it's footsteps. Very, very, very faint and light.
Does it sound like it's coming towards us or going away?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Alright. Nat 20.
Oh, okay.
Plus 2.
This.
Also a nat 20.
All right.
What?
Wah, 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 wah. With your nat 20s, it seems that whatever is down there, you seem to have startled it. Or
Say
caught
that
it.
again.
We startled it.
You seem to have startled it.
Startled.
So, it doesn't seem that they're moving in any one direction or the other. It seems that they're kind of just moving around, attempting to conceal themselves.
I shine it and hold the torch up even higher.
You think you see a flicker and a shadow just out of the corner of your eye. Just like my hand.
At this point,
Like down the stairs or like on this level?
Down the stairs. Behind it, the shadow, the light lights up down the stairs, the mill creaking behind it, the water falling off of it, and you think you see a flash just off to your right side.
I draw my sword.
Okay.
At this point,
Who's
my
there?
icy blue eyes are gonna turn black, and I'm gonna use Eyes of the Grave, which
Ew. What?
allows me to know the location of any undead within 60 feet of me.
Okay. Your eyes go from this ice blue and they kind of fill I feel like they fill your entire eyes with this black. They just black out and your entire eyes turn black. And as you focus in on the sense of any undead creatures, you hear a creak in the floorboards, but you're unable to detect anything that's undead.
interesting. I say whatever's down there is alive.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna gesture to go down. I'm gonna start moving down stairs and see what I see.
Okay, as you creak down the steps, you hear the wood buckle and bend and creak. You know, it's like with your weight and your stature. When I would walk upstairs, I have like really bad ankles, so we always used to joke with my friends and I, like I could never break into someone's house and sneak upstairs because you could hear like the wood crack. You could hear like my ankles pop, and it'd be
I
like
could never be a burglar.
boom, and you know, like it is just ungraceful. And I feel like you descending on its steps are just like I mean, it would sound like with every step that these steps are just gonna just buckle under your massive stature, and you know your presence is now known. And as you descend down these steps, you look at the first thing that catches your eye is the mill. It's massive. It's almost 20 feet high. The circumference is just huge, and it's just large, operating, creaking.
It's like the water wheel.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna make it drowns out a lot of the sound that you might be able to tune into just by its presence and what it does. Go ahead and give me perception rolls.
Alright.
Let's
17.
see. 21.
Nice.
I got a 9, and then Jane got
You can go ahead and give me perception with advantage with Jane.
she got a 21 with her first roll.
Okay. So with this perception roll of so just as you walk in, you hear this blundering steps of Scroll as he leads the way down, and you're able to catch Jane from the left hand side, and Lon from the right hand side are able to catch just these clear pictures of these clothed white-haired mammalian looking creatures as they scutter and they hide behind one jumps behind a sack of milled oats, and the other hides onto the left behind just a cutout on a pillar. But you can see like there's this scaffolding that runs around the mill so you don't fall over it because people can come in and look. So there's these rails that run across in kind of a half moon octagonal shape, and it ends at one area, and you would know that there's no way outside of jumping out of this area. There's no way out of where you are right now except for up.
So they were the only ones that perceived that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that information relayed to you, they're like, you know, Jane's like, something over there. Show yourself immediately. And Lon sees this same streak of this it's definitely a creature.
No.
And how do you react to this?
I guess I react. Let's.
I'm gonna tell them to come out.
All right, so you order them to
Come out.
come out, and
Yep.
you hear like these. You hear like this. You hear this voice, and it says, "It's not even a voice. It's kind of just like a." And I want everybody to roll for initiative.
Oh.
All right.
Everything plus. Plus 19.
I also got a 19.
Nice.
Jane got a 4.
Ooh, that sucks.
12.
All right. So Scroll got a 12. Jane with a 4. All right. Lon, being the first to notice this, jumps over, and you angle yourself to what you see behind these sacks of milled oats. It's these like front teeth.
Oh, no.
And this white creature, it's wearing human garb, but it's ready to strike out at you.
Alright, Lon is going to immediately do what he does and just give that, as a cantrip that he has, it's just gonna poison that motherfucker.
Okay. Do these creatures have to make a save?
Hold up real quick. Poison spray is you stand your hand towards the creature. It must succeed. Yeah, Constitution saving throw. Yep.
All right, con save.
Yep.
All right. It gets a nat 20. So this
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
your spray spreads out, and this creature is somehow as it does so, it right before it anticipates your move, and it pulls this sack of milled oats, and it's able to absorb that poison, and it just kind of melts that sack of oats into this mush, and the creature is unaffected by this. And now we go to Victor.
Alright, I am going to go up to the closest one to me and smack it with my Morning Star.
Alright, so you can either go to the one that Lon went to, or the one that, so right or left?
I'll go to the other one.
Okay, so you head to the left, the one that's behind the pillar that Jane has pointed out, and you go and smack it with your Morning Star?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Alright, 24.
Okay, 24 hits.
for 7 damage.
Okay, you reach back with all your might. You crush this creature and its elongated snout. And what you would consider this blow would like cave in the face of something that you know, when you strike it as well as you did, it just glances off the face of this creature, and you see the marks go into its face from your morning star, but incredulously, like to your disbelief, it seems like no harm was inflicted.
Oh shit.
And then we go to the creature's turn. So the one creature with the bag of basically molten poison oats, it's going to jump up and try and bite Lon.
Oh.
And it gets I'm assuming it hits. It gets a nat 19.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Alright, I just want to preface this with, like, when I'm playing my characters, my rolls are never this freaking hot. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's something about DMing that your rolls are just straight fire. It's absolutely absurd. Okay, I need you to make a you're gonna take 4 damage, and I need you to make a con save of 11.
Okay, that's a 12.
Alright, so you take the damage, and the creature recoils, and it's going to go back and try and make a... it's going to reach out, and it's going to pull its short sword out and take another slash at you.
Don, I have Hellish Rebuke. Can I, like, get that off on one of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that before this next attack.
Response to the spell, or is that?
It's in response to getting my ass whooped. So, let's see. Hellish Rebuke.
So like this creature lunges in, and it like takes its teeth and just goes and sinks into your arm as you kind of hold it off, push it away, and then you cast your Hellish Rebuke.
John, can you go over again what these creatures look like?
All you can tell is that they're white. They would look like, everybody would know that they look like walking rats. But they're in human clothes.
How tall are they?
They're roughly they're humans, like smaller human size. They're not like tall, but they would be like they would be like a normal man size, maybe a little bit shorter, maybe like 5'7" or 5'8", but still humanoid size.
How many?
There's 2 of them. Go ahead, Justin.
It's 14 points.
Do you roll a hit, or does it have to make a save? I'm not sure about Hellish Rebuke. Scott, do you remember?
I'm pretty sure it's just like you get to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually like in response to a
So it's just like straight damage. It doesn't like the creature doesn't get a chance to make save, or you don't have to make an attack roll.
Let me see. There probably is.
I think you have to make an attack roll.
It is typically a dexterity saving throw.
All right, a dex save.
And that would be made on your end, John.
Let me go ahead and check it real quick. One reaction, your response to this creature you see. So what's your spell save?
It's DC 14.
Alright, so I'll just make a dex save 14 and we'll see how it goes. It fails, so it's gonna take full damage. How much was it?
13 or 12 on third.
12 damage?
Yep.
Alright. Okay, and with that, it's going to take its next attack on you. It gets a 12? Or no, a 13?
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
Alright, so it lashes out after its bite, slashing at you, and having pushed it back far enough, you've created enough distance that the sword sweeps by, just not making contact with your torso, and we move on to the next creature. The next creature, again, as it snarls, and it moves right, and it takes a lunge, and tries to bite Victor.
Good luck.
It gets a 19. No. Alright, so as it lunges and goes for an exposed area, you're able to snap your arm into place, and it just takes a kink and bounces off your plate armor.
I have a shield too.
Oh, so you have a shield too. So you're able to raise your shield and deflect this creature's bite attempt, and then it's going to take another attack with it. It pulls out a sword it pulls out this sword also, and it slashes towards you. And it gets a doesn't hit, I'm assuming. Nope. Again, you still have your shield up, deflecting this onslaught, and you're able to avoid any damage inflicted by this creature. And next we go to Scrawl.
Okay, so how far away?
You're able to move within either direction freely and get to either one. You could honestly, it's about 15 feet each way, so if you have 30 feet of movement speed, you could go to one, and then you might be able to readjust to another one. You're able to get easily to each creature in this area.
Alright, yeah, so what I was going to propose was like a charge attack, given I've got that helmet with the horns.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to try to charge one of them and try to, I was thinking similar to like the elk or the ram or whatever.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, go ahead and make it happen. Tell me what you get and we'll play it out.
Alright, Alright, so you just want me to make it, let me see.
Yeah, just make a straight up attack throw. Or attack roll.
Just an attack roll, okay. And then, am I gonna get like a usual like plus for this? Like,
so you'll just take whatever your strength proficiency, or whatever your proficiency bonus is, so like if it was a weapon, just roll that. So whatever your plus to hit with a weapon is.
Okay.
Just a regular weapon though, not a.
Oh, dude, it's a nat 20.
All right, so it's a nat 20. All right, so you charge. You take your.
This is like, I lower my head. The thing is, like, this sheep skull is, like, so thick that, like, you know, like, bighorn sheep, they, like, ram each other, like, so, like, it's like, I'm just gonna charge and, like, spear this thing, like, as basically hard as I can, like.
All right, you charge with all. Again, just the creaking of these boards under your mass. Every foot that drives into them, you push out even harder, and it buckles these to the point of where they almost snap. They're able to hold. You lower your head with your helm and crush this creature. I want you to make a athletics saving throw.
Okay. So,
the vicinity of where you hit this creature, and you hit it so cleanly, is so close to the edge and this rail that the creature is going to burst through this rail, and it is going to fall, unless it is going to fall into the lake. I want you to make a saving throw to make sure, with advantage, that you don't follow it. It could be athletics or acrobatics, whatever you're stronger in.
alright, yeah, I'll roll athletics. Alright. 22.
Yeah, so you're able to just crush this creature, and you hit it so hard it flies, crushing through this barricade, and all you hear is a splash in the water underneath you.
Alright, and then, like, as I, like, land, I'm just gonna, like, let out a, like, primal, like, orc scream, and then just, like, as a bonus action, I'm gonna rage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so as this happens, you set into you just kind of, like, rip your arms open. Your fangs kind of rip out, spit just kind of flies everywhere, and your eyes just bulge and just burn fire red. And you are raging.
Yep.
And we go to Jane.
Jane is going to swing a longsword at the remaining white rat with clothes. Does an 11 hit?
As you reach with your long sword, it slashes down, and the creature's able to dodge out of the way, and it recoils and it looks at you and is like,
Fucking rats.
and then we go, and that's at the end of your turn. No bonus actions.
Well, actually, maybe. Is that a hint, DM?
It is a hint.
I can't hit more than once in a turn, right?
You may have the opportunity to cast an oath spell as a bonus action.
Oath? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I can cast Hunter's Mark, and that's it.
That's the only thing you have as a bonus action?
Yeah.
Hold on a sec.
It's got to do with the type of fighting style I picked.
Hold on a sec.
Yep, that's all I can do.
Alright.
Yep, so I'm good. Somebody else can do.
So you're an Oath of Vengeance paladin, right?
Yes. Ooh, actually,
You should be able to do Vow of Enmity.
Oh no, never mind. I already used Channel Divinity. Never mind.
You did? I don't think you did.
Well, I think so. No, I didn't. Okay, I'll Channel Divinity. I'll use Vow of Enmity.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So I'll get advantage against this rat thing on the next turn.
There we go. Okay. Yep.
Don't knock him through the wall first.
Yes. If you're watching this in hindsight, my first character was a paladin.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I know.
Subtle hints towards other paladins. I will always try and help out other paladins. They're the best class in the game. They're the most versatile. And we can have this discussion off screen, but I love them. So, yes, you channel vow enmity as you utter these words, these holy words, graced upon you by paladin, and in spite of these horrid monstrosities that you've fought, these terrible creatures that you're so used to slaying, and you have vowed to rid Carta of, you gain this holy energy that gives you an extreme advantage every time you strike into this creature for the next minute. And we go to the top at Lon. And the creature that you were there, so the creature that lunged out, bit you, sword attack, you like dodge out of the way as you notice this hulking creature barging through, battering like a bighorn sheep, just boom, as it crushes this creature off. And that creature is now in the water. It seems to be okay in the water. It seems to be able to swim. Let me roll damage. Did you roll damage for that, Scott? We should have rolled damage for that. Go ahead and give me since the action afterwards was a knock prone, but since it couldn't be knocked prone, go ahead and just roll a crit as far as damage. Or actually, you know what? Actually, I misspoke there. Sorry. This creature, again, the same thing you saw with Victor, or Victor experienced, this damage, this bludgeoning damage that would have just cracked this creature's insides and caved its chest in, seemed to have no effect on it, and it's able to, it's able to persist despite this heavy damage of this bludgeoning, and it seems to be at home in the water. And it looks like it could swim away if it wanted to.
Okay. But I was able to physically move it, but it just didn't seem like that it was harmed.
Yeah, that bludgeoning type of damage, that blunt force, didn't seem to have any kind of effect on this creature. It didn't seem. It did not.
Okay.
So we're at Lon, seeing this creature. It bobs up, it's able to take a breath in, and you're looking down into the water as the mill turns. You know your companions are behind you, fighting this other creature, and this one is still in the water.
So, Lon has... it's this or die, right? For Lon?
What's that?
This or die for Lon?
It's what or die?
I mean, like, the way it's going, Lon's got to do it, or...
Lon is in good shape. Lon resisted the bite. This creature's in the water. So right now, Lon can either pursue the creature, or he can turn his attentions to the remaining creature.
Alright. To the remaining creature.
Yeah, so Victor and Jane are fighting a creature behind you to the left. and this creature has just been crushed into the water in front of you. So you see that this creature popped up and seemed to be okay, even though it shouldn't be, and could possibly the possibility of this creature swimming away is very high. So you can either pursue that creature, or you can turn your attention to the creature that your companions are fighting.
Can I turn into a crocodile and try to bite the person who is, messing with?
Go ahead and so I'm gonna say, I'll give you being able to jump into the water and turning into this creature as your movement and your action.
Okay.
And it's just out of reach because it was propelled so far from the strike, but it's relatively close enough.
Alright.
So you turn into this croc.
So I turn into this crocodile.
How do you jump into the water? What's it look like? Do you do like a I do this whole thing, like I put my arms up, and then it's like a swan dive into it, and then just boom, crocodile. Yeah, I was wondering if you did like old school like corkscrew or corkscrew like cannonball.
Like the old school, like put it out, no!
Pull the knee up.
And just this huge
can opener.
Jug of water.
So you like can opener, knee up, just water splashes Skrull is just hammered with this wave of water, and as he blinks it away, he looks down and sees this crocodile form in front of him as you start to pursue this rat, and then we go to Victor. And if you can't do anything, you can roll for him.
He's on his way.
Okay. So Victor, having successfully deflected these blows from the rat, is now recoiled and ready to strike back out.
Yeah, and Victor will use the cantrip Toll the Dead.
Alright.
You need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Of 14.
Alright.
Has this creature taken any damage yet?
No, your initial attack, while it struck, caused no damage to your disbelief, and then Jane, who went in and slashed at it, missed, and she was unsuccessful in her attack, so it's still taking no damage.
Gotcha.
What was its save?
14.
It fails.
Alright, it's gonna take 6 damage.
Okay, so
6 necrotic.
How does this look when you Toll the Dead? What does your Toll the Dead look like?
I'll raise my Morning Star up, and let's see. Oh no, actually, I point at a creature within range. So I lift my Morning Star, pointing straight at him, and then nothing really visually happens, but this super loud bell noise fills the air.
It hears it hits it in its head. Like everyone else can hear it, but in its head, it's just like gong, gong, and it just starts to shake as this necrotic damage just seeps into its skin, causing 6?
6 damage necrotic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see that it's affected by this.
And then I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay. Is it in the shape of a rolling pin by any chance?
No. Mine is a scythe.
Okay. It's a little different tone.
Yeah. So I've got a spectral scythe that appears right behind this guy and swings down on him.
Do you get to attack as you with your bonus action, or you just get to summon?
It says you create a floating spectral weapon within range that lasts for the duration. When you cast the spell, you can make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon.
All right. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Yours is a side. Oh, don't cheat.
I can't cheat that.
Split the difference.
What
It's leaning against the side of the dice tray, and it is literally not a number. It is between 2 and 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll it again.
I've never seen that happen.
You need those metal dice. They're true.
Yeah.
It was a metal
It's a
dice.
metal.
What? And it's still leaned against?
It got all leaned up
It
on the
got
side.
wedged.
That's crazy. What'd you get on your
Justin
reroll?
rolled that orange one, and it hopped up on the side of
Justin's
the dice
done that
tray.
like more than once, which is crazy.
I've never seen that besides that. That's crazy.
He's done. I've
So
seen
I
him do
got-
it like twice in a row. When we were just like at his house messing around, he's just like, "Watch this," and he did it. And he was like, "Oh, it just happened."
What the hell?
So I got a 23 to hit with my spectral scythe.
23, jeez.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that will do 12 damage.
All right. Your scythe rears back as you summon it, and it's force damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It rears back, and as it does, it slashes through, dealing this damage, and it takes what? Sorry,
12.
12. Woo! All right.
Yeah, it was a max hit.
So the scythe slashes in. You see this creature recoil like, and it is now. You've seen this blood start to trickle from its collarbone where it's smashed into, and it is bloodied.
Excellent.
That's all I got.
All right. All right, and we go to the creatures. We'll go ahead and start with the one that you just struck again. It's gonna reach out and try, and it's gonna recoil from it, seeing its blood spilling. It's gonna try and bite Victor, and it gets a. It gets a 21.
Oof.
That one will hit.
So as it recoils, it looks at its blood, smells it as it starts to soak its shirt, this linen shirt that's wearing, and as it does, as your weapon is slashed through it, it's left an opening, and it comes up and it bites you right in between the corner of your plate, and it latches in, and you need to make a con save. You take 4 damage, and you need to make a con save of 11.
Oh, man.
Oh!
That 20.
So you feel the teeth sink in, and you feel something start to course in your veins, and as you do, your necrotic, your unholy kind of energy just repels it, and you're unaffected by this bite other than the damage. You take, it's going to make another attack. It's going to go and attack Jane. Seeing you resist this damage, it's
Can I
kind of...
make an opportunity attack as it leaves me?
I'm saying you guys are close enough, so she's within 5 feet of you, since she's within melee range. So it's just gonna reach over and slash next to him, or next to you.
Captain Rat.
And it misses, I guess. Gets a 16.
He misses.
Yeah, so you parry it, pulling up your longsword, slicing it out of the way, and the longsword slinks away, and then we go over to the rat that's in the water. The rat that's in the water sees this giant splash, and the waves kind of undulate it, and as it undulates, it sees this form of this crocodilian like mouth just gaping open about 5 feet away from it, and it just books it as fast as it can. So it's going to take its full movement speed, and I'm going to roll to see if it's... I mean, I feel like rats are pretty good swimmers, so I'm gonna put it at a 12.
But it's very close.
It's still a rat, though.
It's got disadvantage because
Rats and cockroaches can survive anything, so we'll see. Alright,
Soaking water.
so for that turn, spurred by its fear, it's going to be able to take its max movement speed of 30 feet, so it moves 35 feet away from the now crocodilian form of Alon, and we go to Jane.
Oh, excellent. Wait, Scott, you went? I missed that. Okay. So
No, I didn't.
Oh,
where are you in the
did
order?
you?
Are you
Oh, we're sorry. Scroll's turn. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're after the rats.
I'm gonna turn around and like run over to the creature that's still up there with us and just attempt to grapple it.
Okay. So grapple, it makes a contested strength check, right?
I believe so.
Alright, so go ahead and give me your strength roll, and I'll roll his and
Alright.
see what happens.
Alright.
Oh.
Oh no, natty 1, dude. That 8.
Oh. Did you drop
Slippery
it?
bugger.
Fall off?
Alright,
They kind of know.
with your natty 1, you're gonna open up a, as you jump in and try and grab this creature, you actually open yourself up for an opportunity attack, and it's gonna roll. It sees the opening as you run towards it, and it's gonna try and bite you as you lunge in.
Okay.
And it gets a 19.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna hit.
All right, you need to make a con save of. You need to make a con save.
Con save. 18.
All right, again, this primal rage that you feel inside of you, you take. Since you're raging, you only take 2 damage, and you feel the same type of feeling that Victor felt. You feel this like foreign, like just it almost feels like it would shape you if it took control, but you're able to repel it and pull it out through your primal rage, and you're unaffected by the effects of this bite aside from the damage.
Okay.
And it's able, in that same process, it's able to evade you and remain ungrappled. And now we go to Jane.
All right. There's 2 of you in the water, right? Scott, you went in the water just now?
I went for the one that was.
No, he went for the
still
one
on.
by you, so he tried to grab the one by you.
Well, I'm gonna go up to the hole that this thing made when it flew out of the wall, and I'm gonna shoot it with a crossbow.
So you're going to leave the one that you're in front of. So you're in front of this one. Let's say you're over here. You're going to walk this way around the mill. The mill is right here. My face. You're going to rock all the way over to here to shoot at this creature swimming away.
Is that far away?
You could do it, but you would leave the area of the one that you're currently in combat with.
I guess I'll leave it to the crocodile then.
Okay.
So the one
You
in
could
front-
move into out of range of You can move out of melee range. It would be an opportunity attack for this creature, but you can move out of melee range to shoot at this one.
No, yeah, no, it's okay. I was imagining that the hole was right next to me or something. No, I'll hit the one in front of me. With my longsword. And that would be... Oh.
You get advantage.
I do? Why? Oh yeah! That's right. Oh, much better. 18.
Alright, so you take out your sword with your attack. You slice into it, and as you slice into it, the skin just seems to you open a gash in its arm, and as you pull away, you would expect it to recoil, but as you do, the gaping wound just reforms on its arm, and it's unaffected by your damage.
Interesting. Is there something about being able to do extra radiant damage? Oh yeah, Divine Smite. Is it too late to do something like that?
Since you hit, you can roll your smite.
What do I... Oh, 2d8?
Yep.
Extra damage? 9.
Okay, so instead of like this wound reforming, you see this divine energy sizzle on the skin, and it takes that 9 point of radiant damage, and it recoils, and it's like...
Ha! Take that, evil rat. Do I still get the advantage I have against this rat lasts a minute, correct?
Yep, so you have 9 more turns.
Okay. Alright, I'm good. That's
Okay. We go to Lawn in the water. This creature has moved 35 feet away from you.
Alright.
You are a crocodile.
The creature is, you said, how many feet away from me?
35.
So, I'm not going to be able to attack it. That's going to take 30. Well.
Yeah, your swim speed is 30 feet. So.
Yeah. I'm going to get real close to it.
Yeah, you're like, as you swim towards it, you're snapping.
Yeah, snapping it up and like getting gangster. Like, I'm like,
and it's swimming, and it's swimming towards the shore, which is roughly another 30 feet away. So we'll see how it goes next time, but you're right on its heels 5 feet away as you near the shore. Alright, that's your turn?
Let's see here. I think that's my turn, and, well, I think yeah, John, yeah, that's my turn.
Alright. So you're on its heels, just these like splashing water as your tail punishes the water as you propel towards it, and it's just out of your reach. And we go to Victor.
All right.
This creature is on its last. Like you see the radiant damage sizzling away at this creature, and it is devastatingly wounded this creature.
All right, I'm going to use my bonus action to swing that scythe again.
Yep.
It's going to get an 8.
8 total?
8 total.
Yep, so the scythe swings. The rat, somehow able to detect this incoming damage, as ducks and is able to avoid that.
Alright, and then for my main action, I will do another Toll the Dead on this one. It's right next to me. So it's got to make a wisdom save of 14.
It fails.
Oh shit.
Go ahead. So you again reach out your morning star, pointing at this creature.
This
And
creature has taken damage now, right?
yes, this creature's grievously wounded, and you reach out pointing it, and this necrotic energy seeps through. Tell me how it looks.
Alright, the damage is going to be 9 damage.
Yeah, that's enough to kill this creature.
Yeah, and again, I've got a solemn look on my face and just raise my morning star towards him. And again, you just hear this loud bell sound, like right on this guy's head.
I feel like it's, the bell tolls for thee, and you just, it rattles, and then, like, you just see, like,
so loud.
there we go. There we go. I mean, and just as the bells rattle,
It's almost so hard that his head just explodes.
just, and you're just covered in gray matter. You sling it like Jane takes some and slings it out of her mouth. Just absolutely disgusted. You kind of like revel in it, like. And this creature has met its demise. Then the same scroll is like wiping his eyes free of this just grossness. And we go to the other creature, and I'm gonna make a roll to see how far it gets. Alright, this time it doesn't take its full, it's gonna take half its movement speed in the water. So it is now only 20 feet away from the crocodile. And then now we'll go to Scroll.
Alright, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna, like, move over to the edge and just, like, peer over and see how far away it is from
So you
where
think
I'm knocked in the water.
you think that you could potentially meet it, like head it off if you ran outside.
Okay.
So if you ran,
Yeah, I'm just gonna dash, like, outside and try to cut it off, basically.
okay. All right, so you dash outside, you get up outside, and you turn the corner, and you see where you think this creature would end up on the shore, and you start to head that way. And then we go to Jane.
Alright, then I'm going to do what I was going to do last turn. I'm going to run over to the hole in the wall. I'm going to draw up my crossbow. And I'm going to shoot at it.
Okay. It is... What's your range on your crossbow?
100 feet.
Oh, you're good. So you go ahead.
Alright.
I'm gonna give you. You have advantage anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh no, it's not this creature. Never mind. So I'm gonna give you advantage because this creature is swimming away. You can see it clearly.
I've got 19 to hit.
All right, 19 hits.
Alright, so I've got 1d10 plus 1. That's the soccer ball? No, that's this one. 6 plus 1, 7.
7. Okay. So this where the damage from your sword didn't affect this creature, the bolt from your crossbow sinks in, and it deals just the damage hits home as it reels while it's swimming, and it takes full damage. It was 7?
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
What kind of crossbow, what kind of arrows are these?
They're regular bolts, but I'm using a heavy crossbow.
You're using silver-tipped arrows, is what you told me.
Yeah, the bolts have silver tips, so should we run into any, like, werewolves,
Yeah.
we'll be good.
Yep.
I also have garlic in my pocket, for the record.
Nice. Alright, and now we move to Lon, the crocodile.
All right. Lon's going to strike out at aggressors and
Alright.
just do his thing.
You get a +4 to hit.
All right. That is unfortunately a 12.
Just with your plus to hit, you get a
Yeah.
+4.
Yeah, it's still 12.
Alright, yeah. The while you're right next to the rat now, it's able to as the bolt struck it, actually, it kind of rolled in the water, and when the bolt hit it, your jaw smashed to where it was, and it's able to just somehow avoid that damage.
I do get, as a crocodile, I get 2 attacks, so can I do another?
Yep.
Alright, that is going to be a 17.
Alright, so this time, as you chomp through and it rolls over, it's now on its belly where it's more exposed, and it's less, the ability for it to swim is not, it's not as it doesn't have that ability now that it's on its back, and you're able to chomp home. Go ahead and roll damage.
Alright. That's let's see, it's a 1d10 plus 2. That's 7.
Okay, so you smash home, and again, the same thing that's happened earlier. You would feel like you feel your teeth crunch together through this creature, and you can. It's the same thing as if we bite into a sandwich or something. You can feel your teeth come together, and you would expect to have the end results. Somehow, this creature is able to resist that, and it doesn't take any damage from your massive bite, but it is now grappled within your jaw.
Ooh,
And
I like that.
yeah, and now we go to Victor.
All right. I am going to run up next to Jane, and seeing this struggle in the water. Oh, that's a touch. I am going to cast Guiding Bolt on the rat thing.
Okay.
That's a ranged spell attack. Do I get advantage if they're grappled?
Yep.
Oof.
So that's going to be an 18 to hit.
It hits.
And 46. 37. So that's going to be 13 damage.
All
of
right.
Radiant.
Of radiant damage.
Yep.
Okay, and again, this damage is going to be enough to kill it. So what's your radiant guiding bolt? Your necrotic radiant guiding bolt. Somehow weirdly, like, somehow you're able to call upon both sides. You're able to sit on both sides of the fence, as they say.
Yeah. This purplish, bluish, like almost like a laser-sized light emits out of my morning star, and hits this rat, and then there's like a bluish, purplish light that lights up in the gator's mouth, but no damage hits the gator, of course, and it just squeezes and crumples this rat in the gator's mouth.
Yeah, and this explosion of radiant energy, it kind of disintegrates. It's like eating Dippin' Dots for the gator. It like you bite into it, and it's just gone after this bolt hits it, and you still get the flavor of the rat, but there's nothing of substance left. And as you kind of wind down from this attack, and you notice that these strange creatures, you would be aware of this, especially as a Dawn Guard, and the same goes for Victor. You would be especially aware of, and even Lon. You would understand that these creatures were some sort of lycanthropes, where the damage that you incurred on these creatures didn't have an effect that you would assume they would, and so you have a deeper understanding of the kind of monstrosities that may be hiding in plain sight within the city right now. As you regather inside of the mill, or at the doorway of the mill, I want everybody to make a perception roll.
See if this is right.
Uh,
15.
7.
24.
24.
Whoa.
Okay. With the 24, you swear you hear somebody walking inside of the mill still, even though you've just come out of there. You see a flash, the shadow casts against it blocks out the light that you lit inside the mill in the doorway that's still not entirely closed. It blocks out that light for a brief second, and you hear footsteps traveling back down to where the battle occurred.
Oh, hell no. We gotta go back.
Yeah.
Alright, I want, go ahead and give me, investigation rolls.
Nine.
4.
14.
I also got 14.
Alright. So as Lon here sees this flash, he points and he looks and he says, "Over there." And Victor, in stride, you both heading towards this door, you step. And at the same time, when you step, you notice that your foot slides just a little.
I look down. Is it the ooze?
You reach down, and it's actually a parchment. It's a painting. It's a painting.
What?
It's not big. It's small, almost as we would consider like a personal painting. It would be still something that would take some money to afford in Lakehafen, but it's not a painting of grandeur. As you look at it, it's been ripped at the top, and all you see at the bottom are feet. There's one set of feet that are boots. The person is wearing linen pants. In between, to the right, or to the right of that person, is essentially a smaller version of that. It's a what you would interpret as a child in boots with linen pants, and then over to the left, or over to the right to that, is which you would understand as a woman wearing flat shoes, pointed at the top, with a skirt hanging just below her knees. And that's what you see on the front of this picture. Or this painting.
I wonder if it belongs to Arden.
I don't know. I'm gonna pocket the painting and keep it for safekeeping.
Okay. We'll go in there. As you pocket the painting, you've come to realize that maybe more than what could have ever been imagined has started to encroach into this city, where the disappearances have gone from coincidence or unrelated, with the presence of these creatures, which you would understand were these were creatures, and they are their involvement in these disappearances aren't just coincidences. Them showing up here is not just a coincidence. So you head back to the tavern. This ripped painting in pocket, with answers and more questions moving forward.
Nice.
And that'll be where we stop.
Nice.
So,
Sounds good.
all right.
I want more.
Is Lon still a crocodile?
No, Lon shapeshifted back after his meal disintegrated in his mouth.
Lon is a crocodile right now.
He's all right. Lon's a crocodile. He's moving. He's significantly behind all of you. He's about 100 feet behind you. As you make your way back into the tavern. He still has instead of just a crocodile, I would picture him as a crocodile with eyebrows, so you would know that it wasn't it wasn't just a crocodile. He was yeah. So yes. Well,
Nice
all right.
job, John.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent.
We gotta get some silver coated.
My character is thoroughly confused. He's like, I crushed that thing in the water and what? No, it was it was not hurt at all.
Yeah, I don't know if in your adventures you would have. Yeah, I don't know if in your adventures you would have ever come across were creatures. They're pretty.
Yeah.
They're pretty rare. So.
Jane beats her the chest plate and is like, I'm all too familiar with were creatures, and a couple of these teeth on my necklace are were creatures.
Yeah, as part of the Dawn Guard, you would understand after you would know right away once you encountered them that they were were rats, and that were rats only do the bidding of other creatures. They're not, they're kind of the they're kind of they're the puppets, yes, of some kind of greater evil.
Mm. And silver-tipped bolts seem to.
Yes, it seems that silvered anything would have a significant effect if you met creatures that were similar to this. Which you would know that if there's more were rats. If there's were rats, there's more were rats, and if there's were rats, there's more were creatures. And the fact that they're able to polymorph and they're able to take the guise of humans would lead you to believe that their presence may be more pronounced than anticipated within the city.
Cool.
Interesting.
So now we gotta get paranoid with everyone we talk to.
It seems that we need a trip to the smithy. My axe requires some modification.
And your horns, you should get some silver.
Silver horns.
Yeah, your horns.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well, I'll see you guys. Obviously, I had fun. I hope you guys did.
Hell yeah. We gotta do this again.
Yeah, I think next time it'll be even more. I want to build even more suspense in. So hopefully you felt a little bit. Were you guys good with the music? Could you hear it consistently?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. Were you playing it like the whole time?
There was one time where it turned off, but for most of the time there was music playing of some type.
I mostly heard it during the combat.
Okay. So as long as we're getting some of it, that's what matters, and then hopefully I get a little bit better at that. But I think I'm really excited. I like where this is going, and I think I hope to build even more like suspense and kind of put you on the edge of your seats a little bit more. I'm really happy Justin got to play. I wasn't expecting him to come in tonight.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, listen, how was fishing?
Yeah.
Did you guys catch any gators or anything?
No gators caught, but
No pet gators released in the Scioto.
You catch anything else? Maybe
No
even
fried alligator tonight then, huh?
only a couple of gators.
No pink lizards. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun. We can do this next week.
Yep.
If you guys want to play Friday night, that works for me.
Yeah.
And then good. As far as
You can do any night.
Why not?
I have to start